This bracket, a friend of mine actually made this bracket. It's made out of aluminum, and we're using well nut fittings in there. And there's 6 of them. And then this is the connection for the trolling motor, which goes down through the boat, and there's a O-ring that we have sealing up that connection. And then this is for the tilt of the motor. This was the handle that came on the Kayak, so we just relocated that from here to here. And let's throw the motor on. So this is a motor guide, R3. You get it from Walmart for 99 bucks. We cut about 12 inches off the top. Added a stainless steel eye here, stainless steel eye here. Got these little quick connects, and for that I just spread that apart, put it back in the, put these on, put the vise on it to squeeze it back together. We've got this pin with the little quick connect on it. So to hook this up, we just slide this in. Make sure our safety goes on there. This is our tilt. So that's our tilt. And we hook up our foot controls. And then we plug it in. And I've got it marked. That red lines up with that red. Because when you're out getting this thing set up in the morning, you want to make sure that it's kind of as easy as possible. And I've had to actually remove the motor when I was on the water once, when my line got tied up in it. So I had to kind of sit over the top of the chair here, reach back here, take this apart, pull it up into the seat with me so I could get my line out of it, and then reach back, put it back, which was awesome that I could be able to do that without having to go ashore. That's how easy this thing is to take apart, and I mean, it's a piece of cake. That's one reason why we have the safety, and I did the line for the pin, just because I don't want to have little pieces that I want to drop in the water if that does happen again. This is our tilt. So for the tilt, this is larger airline. I forget what size it is. This is 1/4 inch, I know. This probably 3/8. So that runs here, goes inside, runs along here, pops out here, which then goes to there. So that is running to this pulley, and that's running to this clam cleat. So when I pull this and just lock it in, motor is tilted up, and then to untilt it, I just pull it, and that's all there is to that. For speed controls, this is from a Hobie kayak, I believe, to do, I want to say they use it for steering on their rudder system. So I wanted some kind of a lever that would be easy for me to grab. I had to trim it down a little bit to clear the seat. But the head of the trolling motor, I just removed the dial out of it that does the speed, and I made this little ABS plate, stuck it back behind there, and then connected this lever to that with some creative engineering, but it works great. It's never going to come off there. And then this is our power kill switch, obviously, for the motor. So that has a key that is attached to my life vest somewhere. So just in case something happens and I fall off, at least the kayak isn't going to keep going. So with that engaged, there's our motor. So that's speed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, off, reverse 1, reverse 2, off. One of my concerns when I did the motor setup this way, this motor does not lock in. Okay, it doesn't lock in just that by design, because the thrust of the motor pushes it against the kayak. It doesn't really need to lock in, and having it lock in just adds more mechanisms and yada yada to try to figure out and all that stuff. So my concern with that when designing this the way I did was what happens in reverse, because in reverse this thing, you know, it's going to want to pull this way. And I've seen the question from different YouTubers ask, well, what about what happens when that happens? And it's not really an issue, because you forget you're steering with your feet. So you've already got pressure with your feet on this shaft. By me mounting the steering on this end of the shaft and not on this end of the shaft, you know, the pivot point, by me being below the pivot point, when I engage my foot pedals and this thing goes in reverse, I'm actually holding it in with my feet. So as I'm steering with my feet, I'm also holding the motor to the boat when it's in reverse. So it's not an issue for me. Other guys that do it like this, that don't have a locking mechanism, if they do their steering up here, I have no idea what they do to keep it from coming up, because it will definitely come up. If I don't have my feet locked in and I throw it in reverse, I can start hear it cavitating back here. So it wants to come up, no problem. So this real quick, I see a lot of guys, they get the fittings and whatnot from Home Depot, and they screw them on or they mount them to this shaft. I didn't go that route, because I actually left it loose, and it's held on there by this grommet and the wire loom, so it's allowed to pivot. So when this motor pivots, that thing just stays right where it's gonna stay. So I'm able to leave my line kind of a shorter length, because I don't have to worry about it going that way or going this way or whatever. So so far it's worked flawless. The only issue that I've had so far with the motor was one of these little retaining clips had popped off, but that's been taken care of now. And just to let you guys know, if you do go with something like this, they sell these little clips like this that you can unscrew and put onto the cable. So I carry some of these with me when I go out, and just in case something like that happens, I can stick one of these on there real quick, tighten it down, and then I'm back in business. So I think that's it for the motor. We've got the motor, the bracket, went over the tilt, the speed control, foot controls, and the battery. So if you guys got any questions about it, just let me know. This is the second setup that we've done like this. My brother-in-law's, we did his basically identical. He has a Perception Pro 100 as well, just like mine. And he actually didn't go with this battery setup. He went with a Mighty Max, and he didn't have any issues with his the whole entire time we were out either. So his Mighty Max held up for a good 5 hours, 6 hours, and probably had more in it. But I guess if you guys got any questions, just let me know. I'm no pro, no kayaking pro, but I think I got the Perception Pro 100 figured out for the most part. I got about everything done to it that I'm going to do. I don't think there's much more I can do. Oh, lights. I am going to add some lights to it. I'm going to put some kind of a light in here somewhere, and then the red and green, and then I'll put a switch back here somewhere. But all right, well, let me know if you guys like it, and let me know if there's any other details I can get for you. These are my little battery trays that I made. So these things were on sale for like $3 at Harbor Freight, so I bought like 5 or 6 of them. And to make my little battery tray, all I did was cut the top part of one of these off. Found me some brackets to mount it in, which I have tons of brackets and stuff that I commonly collect. Every little project, every little scrap of whatever I find anywhere, I collect it. So basically by doing that, it gives me a nice little snug battery box or battery tray. It's not going to go anywhere. And then I just use this piece of Velcro to secure it when I'm out on the water. That's it. Well, if you guys like this video, just subscribe. If you guys didn't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you. Did my best. That's all I can do. I'm not a YouTuber. Not trying to get into it. I would love to share this kind of stuff with you guys, but so forgive me for my noobness. See ya. How's my goddamn phone?